Hey, what's going on, you guys? ITN here. As you can see behind me, I have finished my build. Well, more like I'm probably 95%, anywhere from 95 to 98% done. I got everything connected. I spent most of today connecting the PSU to everything else and getting the computer to boot and updating the BIOS and or adding the operating system. Right now, I have spent the last 2 hours just updating and downloading and installing drivers and all kinds of things. Right now, is doing a massive Windows update, which consists of almost 200 updates. So, as you can see, I did turn the computer tower just a little bit to face the camera so you guys can see the red LED in front of the case. It's not as bright as it looks online in the photos, but I'm wondering if there's a way I can actually tweak that because I really want the light to just shine. I like it to act as a nightlight when I turn the light off and I'm just going to sleep and just, like sleeping in hell. No, I'm just kidding. Sleeping in hell. No. Um, so I gotta say, when I first started, I anticipated it would probably take me 3 or 4 days to finish the build, but I actually finished it in 2 days. It could have taken 1.5, but I spent most of today trying to solve a little error. When I had everything plugged in, let me just say I freaked out. I did not want to push that power button because I did not want to, remember those times back in the past when I couldn't even get anything to turn on. But yeah, I turned it on and everything booted up, everything was lighting up, everything was running, the fans were spinning, there were no problems. I was just worried there were either going to be sparks or it's going to blow up in my face or just nothing boot up at all. But it turned on and I hit the stress test or whatever you call it on the motherboard. There's an activation button on there, and what it does is it runs a test throughout the system to make sure all the components are connected and that it's detecting everything. And it gives you these two-digit codes, either they're letters or they're numbers. And it kept giving me this code A2, which meant IDE detect. I didn't exactly know what that meant, but because it was just giving me the A2 code, it meant that it was something I had to fix. So I looked it up online. They said it could be a variety of issues. It could be your solid state drive, it could be your hard drive, it could be your optical drive, it could be your graphics card, it could be any of your components that are either just not connected properly or they're misconnected. Maybe they're in the wrong ports, or maybe the power supply is not plugged in all the way, or maybe you got the wrong connectors. It could mean anything. It was no help at all. And people were even saying that the best way to fix that problem, required that you go as far as disassembling your system and plugging everything back in together, and I did not want to do that. So what I actually ended up doing is I got the idea that it was probably one of my hard drives, because I did say I had 4 hard drives that were very old. So I figured at least one or more of them were dead. So what I did is I took them all out. I took out the SATA cables. I took out all of the power connectors for the SATA devices. Freed up a lot of space, and then I connected one hard drive at a time, and each time I connected a hard drive I would reboot the system, see if it would still give me that code, and it would keep giving me that code all 4 times. And then I finally decided to connect my solid state drive, and it was still giving me that code. So then it came to my mind that it's not my hard drive, it's something else, and I don't know what it is. So as much as I was fretting over it, I was just about to disassemble it until the first thing I noticed was when I pulled out my graphics card. I pulled out my graphics card because it's kind of blocking the SATA socket area where you plug in the SATA cords for your hard drive or your optical drive. I pulled that out, and the power connector, I had a 8-pin power connected into it. But right next to the 8-pin receiver on this GPU, there's a 6-pin connector. And I've always left that alone because I thought that was for SLI or just something else, you know. And so I was digging through my PSU box and I found another VGA cord. I found two more VGA, you know, video graphics power cords, and one of them had the 8-pin socket and the 6-pin socket. So, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, how convenient. I mean, this looks like something I'm supposed to be using. So I removed the power cord I had in the system and I plugged that in, and then boom, the system booted up. So it turns out it was because my graphics card was receiving insufficient power. So, kind of a shame because all of my hard drive, I don't have my hard drives in the system yet. So I don't know if any of them are still running or not. So I might take the time tomorrow or sometime during the week to install a couple of them just to see if they work. But it's Monday night now. I finally got most of the system done. It's still doing its update, and my package that I ordered just came in like 30 minutes ago. And I mean, it's Monday night. It's almost 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. And my package just arrived like 30 minutes, 45 minutes ago. I mean, a week late. And if you're curious to know what I got in the package, well, this is it right here. This is the whole package. I have that thermal paste cleaner. It's supposed to be like some type of rubbing alcohol, and the thermal paste. Yes, it is the Arctic Silver. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, looks like the focus is doing okay. This is the package that came in right here. It didn't come in any sleeves. It didn't come in a plastic case. Nothing. It just came in like this. This and this in a big delivery box. And I probably never mentioned, just because I forgot to mention, I did order a LED light strand. So I plan on putting this inside the case to illuminate it more, so it has that more reddish appeal to it. So, you know, any openings in the case where light can escape, you know, hopefully this will actually make it pretty bright. You know, I have read it. This does make some pretty bright illumination. It looks pink just from looking at it. I'm hoping they didn't mistaken red for a light red. But I would probably install this sometime later. I really don't feel like reopening up the case and everything. But yep, I got the BIOS all set up. That was not much of a hassle at all. The operating system, I learned a whole new thing just going through that. You know, I had a old USB flash drive that I used for updating the BIOS, and then I pulled out a DVD-R, a burnable disk, and I purchased the operating system online for like $70 something. Way cheaper than buying it at a retail store, like almost $130. But man, that was just so convenient. It was cheap. It was right there. I can do it right at home. And it was just, I don't know why operating systems, it's Best Buy. Everything is so expensive there. I don't get why they do that. But even though I have most of the computer built, it doesn't mean that this is going to be my last PLog. I'm still going to be doing some future tinkering and maybe adding some more stuff. I might talk about, you know, some things that might have happened after installing the hard drive, because these are Western Digital. They're pretty good. You know, they're Velociraptors. You know, they'd be some pretty decent backup drives to have. They might be a little noisy, but they'll be fast. Be nice to have them. But I may do other videos where I'm doing like in-depth like reviews, or just talking about like the components that I have inside my rig. I don't think I've ever told you guys what parts I have and what I've installed and what my new rig is going to be running on in the coming years. So what operating system do I have? Well, while I'm on, you know, topic, I went ahead and upgraded from the Windows Premium to Windows Professional. And the reason I went professional is because I learned that not only does professional take better advantage of the 64-bit system, but your RAM memory limit is not restricted at 16 gigabytes opposed to Windows Home Premium. It's limited to, oh, I don't know, it might be over 100 gigs. I don't know. But the reason I wanted to go with that is because beside from having a 64-bit advantage, is because I'm trying to future-proof my system. So when new stuff comes out along the line in a few years and they require a lot more RAM, I'll at least be ready to upgrade. I can just simply go from 16 gigs to 32 gigs. I do have 16 gigs in my RAM right now. I have two 8 gigabyte sticks in there running at 2400 megahertz. So you might be sitting there trying to tell me that 2400 megahertz is overkill, but believe me, there's a long story why I went with that set of sticks. And just to make it short, it's because they were sold out. They were out of stock on the lesser megahertz sticks, the 2000 and the 213300 megahertz. But ultimately I went with it. But point being is that I'm trying to future-proof my system. But I don't know. I'll keep tinkering with it a bit. I'm going to try doing some overclocking. I want to see, what potential I can possibly have. But now that I do have my thermal paste here, I can just reopen up the system, clean off the pre-applied thermal paste. The CPU seems to be running at good temperature, so they say keep this thermal paste around for a long time. So because there's going to be times when you're probably going to have to take off the cooler and reapply thermal paste again over time. So that's really nice to have. But other than that, that's going to be it for this PLog video. I'm stoked to have my system built. I am so looking forward to seeing what the new video graphics card is going to be able to do. I'm waiting for these updates to get done. It's been going for 2 hours now. I just want to slap on the next game on there and just see how it runs. I'll start streaming very soon. I'll get back into uploading gaming videos. I'm hoping it's going to be a smooth, fun ride for the coming years. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next PLog video.